Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I tried to record this last week, but it didn't quite go right, and my capture wasn't actually doing very well. It's like missing this whole chunk here, so I'm gonna have to re-record it, and I missed loads of stuff out of what I wanted to say last time, so I'm gonna re-record it. So I've decided that I'm gonna do more of those Q's and A's. Yeah, this one next question is actually a pretty big one actually, so it'll probably take about 8 minutes to actually talk about it. So once a Let's Player actually asked, if you got to live in a game world, which game would it be and why? That's a really good question. There's so many game worlds to actually get to interact with characters and do loads of cool stuff with them. So I would have to pick three, otherwise I'm going to be taking all day actually answering this one question. So the top three are Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, and Mega Man. So yeah, we'll start with Final Fantasy since that's actually my number one choice. So right, Final Fantasy. Don't worry, I'll put references at the bottom out of everything I'm doing. It's where I like the idea of Final Fantasy because you get both magic and sci-fi. But I'd like to have more magic, of course, since sci-fi's technically in reality anyway. So, one of the things I would love about Final Fantasy is the fact that you can like get all kinds of magic spells like healing and stuff, and I'm pretty sure that every single game out there, or at least 90% of gamers that's played Final Fantasy, love the idea of riding chocobos. I heard that there's actually a bird you can actually ride in reality, but they look a bit like ostriches, and all the kids can ride on them anyway. But just imagine if you got to ride on chocobos and fly on them and stuff like that. Imagine how cool that would be. Another reason why I would love to be in a Final Fantasy world is because you can actually get revived by a Phoenix Down. So if you die at all, you can get revived by a Phoenix Down. Although there's actually times where they don't actually work due to storyline, so just be careful of cutscenes. So yeah, um, yeah. Another reason why I love the idea of Final Fantasy, which is which you can kind of tell because of the screenshot down here. Summons. Oh yeah, I love summoning stuff in Final Fantasy games. Imagine summoning a monster that's gonna come and help you. Too bad that they actually had to take out Knights of the Round after Final Fantasy 7 because they were a bit too overpowered. Just imagine if they were in Final Fantasy 10. By the way, Final Fantasy X is one of my favourite games. I actually like Final Fantasy X a bit more than 7 in some ways, but I like 7, but it's not my favourite one. My two favourite Final Fantasy games, whilst we're on the topic, is Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 4. Final Fantasy 9 because it's just funny, it's interesting. The graphics are much better than 7, to be honest. I know it was made much later. It was released after Final Fantasy 7, which is a bit obvious, but I just generally just seem to like Final Fantasy 9 more. So that's why. Anyway, yeah, summons is in every single Final Fantasy game, so I would be like, hey, Bahamut, can you like help us out here? I need this one villain to get taken care of. Okay, sure. Mega Flare. There you go. So that's just imagine being able to interact with superhuman beings. Basically, and getting to do magic and everything. I just really love the idea of Final Fantasy. Okay, I think we'll go to the next one. Oh yeah, that was Legend of Zelda. Oh yes, Ocarina of Time is my favorite. I can't even talk properly today. My favorite Zelda game. Majora's Mask being a pretty good second, and Twilight Princess being a good third. I like Legend of Zelda because you get to meet lots of different races, like the Goron tribe and the Gerudos and the Zoras and such. And you actually get loads of cool items like the hook shots and the bombs and stuff like that. Just be careful not to blow yourself up with bombs, since bombs are technically real anyway. Oh, yeah, I would love to actually use Magnesis, since that's a new item that they actually put in the Zelda universe. I love the idea of being able to lift heavy objects. Imagine being able to lift a big lorry up or something with a magnet. How cool would that be? Oh, also, I love the idea of being able to warp with an ocarina as well. Or, heck, even a flute would do if I got to. There is one teeny tiny problem with Legend of Zelda. Readers! What was Nintendo thinking when they made them? And why was Ocarina of Time rated an E? And what are the readers doing when they grab Link from behind? I've even come across a couple of Let's Players like saying, what were they doing to me? That is not how a zombie attacks. Yeah, I won't go into that very much because I want to make this video a bit more safe for work, so I don't want to, like, you know, talk about readers too much. But anyway, that's my number 2 choice. My number 3 choice is actually Mega Man. Now, I have talked about Mega Man before in one of my other videos, so I like Mega Man because I like the idea of having superpowers and stuff. Kind of a bit like Final Fantasy, because you get superpowers in that. I mean, come on, who does not want superpowers? I mean, imagine being able to throw metal blades constantly without ever running out of it. And being able to freeze time. Now, freezing time is a very good thing even in reality, because just imagine if you were about to be late for work or something. You can actually use it for that, although that's a little bit not too important type thing. There's gotta be some bigger things to use time freeze for, like you need to, like someone's about to collide into someone and blow up or something. But yeah. Also, I actually like Mega Man, the Mega Man franchise, because you get to see a lot of a lot of robot masters that look very friendly. I mean, look at these dudes. They're like totally friendly. Imagine getting to interact with them and stuff. Although they're trying to actually attack you. Oh, another thing I love about Mega Man games is that even if you die, you can just get revived, or you have lives anyway. So it's actually okay. So I think there might have been one other reason why I like to live in Mega Man games. Let's see. Yeah, I actually based one of my characters based on Mega Man characters anyway. In fact, if you look at my profile image right now on my YouTube channel, that's basically me as a Mega Man character, but I didn't like make it copy and paste. I actually tried to change it to my own type thing. But yeah, that's another reason why I like the Mega Man franchise, because I got loads of inspiration off it for certain things anyway. So yeah. Oh, other game mentions I would love to be in is Mario, Sonic, Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Goemon games, Mystical Ninjas. Kingdom Hearts is a good one as well. Disco Games is a good idea as well. There's loads more I can mention, but I can't. I'd be going on all day if I actually keep saying every single name. But they're like some of the top picks anyway. So, yeah, I think that's actually it for this question. Yeah, it is. Question number 6. This one's actually from an online friend of mine, actually. Someone called Zesty Games, who did the voice of Megumi, actually asked me a few questions, actually. One question was, what art program do you use? That's a pretty good question, actually. It's a little bit hard to explain, though. Nowadays, I use this. Now, a lot of people will be like saying, oh, why don't you use Illustrator? I did use Illustrator 5 years ago, back in 2012, but there was a problem with Illustrator. Now, Flash and Illustrator have similar tools, like the pen tool, it's like that, but you can just press P. It's like whenever you try to make a curve like here, like that works perfectly fine in Flash, but when it's like in Illustrator, which is supposed to be more picture oriented, it's where it does it. It starts it suddenly. It starts it there, and does it there, and does it the other way around. And I tried to find the setting to change it, so it actually does it how I want to. It's like pressing the letter A, and it prints on the screen B instead. So I got very frustrated with using Illustrator, so I thought, oh, I'll just do it in Flash instead. It's actually very similar, it actually works. And on top of that, you can actually animate it. This is something I made in my spare time. It's not even finished yet, but I made it like ages ago. I did export it as an image, like that, and then you just export it as an image. I will show you how to do that. Because it's like when you have it as a picture, right, you can actually make it so you can transform it into an animation if you need to. So basically I start off my animations as pictures at first, then if I want it to be as a profile image or something, I'll just upload it somewhere and say, oh look, I made this. Then I can actually do that, and I get to have it internally within Flash. So that's why I like using Flash. I did used to use Paint a long time ago, like more than 10 years ago. So this is Megumi with how she looked. Like, this is actually the second picture I ever made of her. The first picture I made of her was very, very, very blurry. So I would like to show it. I guess I can. But this is something I drew back at university, like 2011. so, so, I actually improved her quite a bit ever since, especially since you can't even see her hair there or anything like that. And she's actually lacking detail on her shoes there, whereas here, she's actually got detail now. So, yeah, that's the art program I actually preferably use. Now, I have come across something called Sai before, but you have to pay for it after a trial, whereas I already paid for Flash for £100. So, and by the way, I actually had a student discount for Flash as well, because that was back when I was at university, so I was allowed like 80% off. So I thought, oh, let's just get it, and it's actually meant for as long as I actually need, as I want it. As long as I don't like uninstall it. I can deactivate and put it into another PC, but I can only install it like twice. So technically, I paid to be able to put it on two machines, so that's like 50p per activation. So basically, I've got two Flash activations, if you understand where I'm getting at. So that's the art program I like using the most. I will say that, like I said before, it does take a very long time to actually draw, but it's totally worth it. Before we move on to the next question, I've got to mention that I do sometimes use references like this one here. I'll put a link in the description where I got that from, or I'll just put it on screen where I actually got that from right at the end. Sometimes I use references like this because I used to be very bad at drawing hands, like back in 2011/2012. So I don't tend to use all of them, but this is actually very good for beginners as well, like myself. I mean, everybody starts from the bottom, right? These are actually supposed to be anime girl hands, but some of them look a little bit too manly, like that one there. So I thought, but the best thing to do if you are a beginner and you must trace is trace out first, but change it to your own, like how I did here. So yeah, I used that one, but I changed it afterwards. So you can actually do that. Just don't trace someone else's work and pass it off as your own, or at least reference that you used someone else's work. So yeah, that's it. That's all I want to say for this question. Okay, question number 7. This one's also from Zesty Games, and what she actually asked was, what inspired you to animate? Now, back in 2007, which that's 10 years ago. Wow, that's a long time ago, actually. I actually used something called Pivot. It's basically like a stickmen type animating. It's very simple and basic, but there wasn't a lot you could do with it. So I then moved on to Flash animation at college. That was like in 2008 odd. I made a very basic stickmen thing in Flash, even though you can do a whole lot more with Flash, as you can see right here. And then I got into it a whole lot more at university because in my web design course I did 2D graphics and animation. So this is something I made at university. It's pretty long. I've even uploaded a YouTube video of this. So in fact, it's actually my first video I ever put up, actually. If you want to have a look at it, it's on my channel. It's not very hard to find. Just look for it. It's called The Digger. It's split into like part 1 and part 2. Part 2's still not done yet. So yeah, that's how I actually got into it a whole lot more. The reason why I moved on to Flash animation was because you could do so much more. Because with stickmen, it's like stickmen, you get no facial expressions whatsoever, unlike you do here. Because imagine this being in stickmen, he'd have the digger boy would have no face, and the receptionist would have no face, and he'd only have stick arms. Well, so would he as well. So yeah, and then there's basically I thoroughly like doing Flash animation, so I stuck with this ever since, for 2D wise, and then I moved on to Blender back in 2013. So I'll talk about 3D a bit later on, but I don't want to like waffle on about and go not really answer the question. So basically, I went from Pivot, Stickmen, and then I went into this, and then I started making more stuff, like the Megumi stuff that I've been making as well. So that's actually how I actually got into it. So I think that's the end of the question. Oh yeah, I still need to finish part 2 of the Digger thing. It's like incomplete. I did upload like a template of it. It's very incomplete, especially the end part of it. So you can have a look if you want. I'd only give the second part about a 5 out of 10. The first part's a lot better. So yeah, I think that'll do. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I guess I could actually remake that first pivot animation and make it in the Source standard. Yeah, basically it's where it's in a room, kind of like this, but there's like a jukebox here. It's where there's like two guys, and it's just like saying, "I was first in queue. Yeah, right. You went back for a sip. You wanna fight?" And then they start fighting from there. So basically, it's more of a funny fight sort of animation, but it's with stickmen instead. I guess I could actually do it in here, but I've still got lots and lots and lots of other stuff I need to actually get finished first. But the thing is that in general, you shouldn't start off a lot of animations and then not even finish them, otherwise you have like 5 animations that's left incomplete, because I still got the digital animation and I still got the 3D Megumi thing I'm still working on at the moment. I'll talk about that a little bit later though. Yeah, also right at the end, quite a few of you probably noticed this, but it's like I had to do all the voice acting for all the characters in this first animation I made in Flash back at university. That was because back in 2012 I asked my classmates, "Oh, can you do some voice acting for me?" And it's where they were like saying, no, we're too busy with coursework, we got PHP to do and stuff like that." So I thought, okay then. So the teacher said, "Oh, let's just go get the equipment out for the recording." So we did as where me and the teacher were in the back room, and then the teacher literally said, "Oh, they're right bums, aren't they, Ian?" And then I thought, well, yeah. The funny thing is I actually got the highest mark out of everyone in the class, I'm starting to think that I only did because I had to do all the voice acting on my own. I got 73% and everybody else got like between 45% and like 71. Oh well, it's here now. And that's why I actually had to do a voice audition, and I was really hoping for the voice audition for Megumi. I was really thinking, oh no, I really hope somebody actually does her voice, and it turned out really, really, really well. So I thought, oh yay! So thanks, Dusty James, for helping out. That'll have to do for the time being. This video is gone way over 20 minutes, so I wanted to do some more questions. I haven't even answered all the questions I've been given yet, so this will have to do for the time being. So I'll get around to doing more of those questions in a little bit. So yeah, I think we'll actually leave it there. I'm surprised my throat doesn't actually hurt after through all this, so yeah. So we'll have to leave it as that for the time being. So there's all the references, and if you're wondering where I got everything from. So yeah, I'll see you around next time. Ha 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 ha.